So in the 2024 general elections, should we say the 2024 local elections, more specifically, the Conservatives lost a lot of councillors. In fact, it was very, very much a sign of things to come that would happen in the upcoming general election. And at that time, a lot of councillors were furious at their Westminster Party, because the I don't know I don't know what we would call it now. It's got a fancy French word, the sword and condé, or whatever it is called now. The invisible great barrier. That, yes, we might be of the same party, but what affects you in Westminster should not affect us at the locals, because we are running the town council. We are doing stuff that happens for local issues, and that's what we are there for. And we've had it now done twice, where we have seen local issues get completely ignored at local elections, because that is what you are doing. You are focusing on the local area or local issues, and instead running on national points. We saw this very heavily with Reform, basically saying, you want to teach the two parties a lesson, vote for us. That was pretty much their manifesto on a national level. And now they've actually won 10 councils. And not only that, but 2 regional mayors as well. They're going to take scrutiny like they have never faced scrutiny before. Not only that, those 10 councils that they've managed to take control over are not in the best financial position. What starts to happen when those councils, start to go bankrupt or declare bankruptcy or get into problems? Because some of those councils in particular are already in the red. So they've got bad times ahead of them for Reform on that front. And it's already happening with their councillors. We covered that one yesterday. And there's even more coming out about some of these fantastically locally vetted people. That's a video for another time, maybe. However, of course, it is very, very understandable to have a look at a lot of these local Conservative candidates, and they are insanely angry, insanely angry at their party, so angry. And this is an anger that has been bubbling away really since last year, since the local elections of last year, because they were warning Rishi Sunak and the party what was to come at the upcoming elections this year. Before, just as these things had kicked off, you'd had a lot of the Conservative, grassroots, foot sloggers on the ground going, it's a bit Lib Demi in this area more than it previously was. What's going on here? There's a lot of this stuff that they got ignored about. Local politics, as I said before, is important. It should be important to you as what goes on in Westminster, but unfortunately it's not. The turnout rate for these local elections was dire. It was, I think, national average was around about 30%. It was lower than that in other areas. So, take it as it goes. But this was kind of, I think, an interesting admission, because you've now got this source coming from a very senior Tory council leader who says, or at least he believes, the Conservatives or the Conservative Party could collapse within 12 months. Okay. Hey, sometimes they say Rome didn't fall overnight, but sometimes collapses can happen quicker than you think. And hey, maybe you could be right. Maybe you could be right. In 12 months' time, maybe the Tory party does collapse. Because we're going to be covering in the next video a very interesting video by Daniel Hanan. So before we go on into covering this, please do have a click or a look at the Patreon page, the Buy Me Coffee links down below, the YouTube thank you button, and of course the Pony Club down below as well. You've also got the Patreon page, I forgot that as well. It is Wednesday as well, so there is a new video for the Patreons and of course the Pony Clubbers as well. So go check that out if you want to gain access to that stuff. Like I say, join the Patreon, join the YouTube subscription stuff down below. That all helps. Like I say, thank you very much to everyone who does help support the channel, and let's crack on then into this because oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So. Shockingly, the London Economic was the only people to cover this. And I'm really glad because I don't think this got a look in anywhere else. So, outgoing Tory councillor says the Conservatives could dissolve within 12 months. He says, so it kicks off with, within the last 12 months, the Conservatives have already taken a battering in both the local and general elections. Following a very tumultuous 14-year spell in government, the party is now facing an existential crisis, and some senior figures now believe the entire organisation could collapse. Yeah, this is not good when you've got senior figures going, we are in crisis mode. We are in full collapse mode. I can't wait to see it happen, quite frankly, because they deserve it. They deserve everything they've got coming to them. But then we all know what takes its place. And who do you think we're going to be talking and focusing about after that? Anyway, so the big question, are the Conservatives heading for extinction? I would absolutely say they are. I would say it's more not going to be a sudden collapse as is being espoused here. I don't think, well, who knows, that I might be proven wrong. They might collapse for the next 12 months. I think it will be a longer process than that. So the Tories were, of course, empathetically regulated now to the opposition benches via, of course, the public vote last year. They promised now to reflect for reflection and self-assessment, and that has never happened. Like I keep on bringing that up. They promised they would do that. They've never done that. There has never been a single self-assessment or any reflection done on any of their time in government. However, since Kemi Badenoch became leader, the party has failed to gain any ground with the electorate. In fact, the polls showed that the right-leaning party is getting even more unpopular. They lost a whopping 670 council seats just last week and now regularly dip below the 20% threshold in voting opinion. Anonymous sources have previously told media outlets they fear extinction. However, Jason Smithers, who would probably be the most high-profile figure to make his declaration public, is now the outgoing leader of North Northamptonshire Council, has now expressed grave concerns about Badenoch's leadership and, quote, the lack of sound policy initiatives. Smithers revealed that he will be calling on the current leader to raise these issues later in the week. But in his post on Twitter, he showed no signs of holding back, stating that Badenoch should stand down and the current approach could cause the ultimate dissolution of the Conservatives by 2026. Oh boy. I hope so. I hope so. I hope that happens. That would be fascinating to see. The next 12 months, complete, utter collapse. I personally think it would maybe take longer. I think you're talking maybe a process of sort of 4 to 5 years. And I'm basing this off of, again, the last time this happened to a party, that's how it happened. It was a slow yet painful death. That is what we are, honestly, I think we're witnessing again happen with the reform. Well, not with what the reform, but with Conservatives at the moment. So I think it's going to be played out longer, which will be good for me. You know, a lot more content to sort of give them the final kicking that they deserve as they shuffle off. But let's see what he had to say. He said, the absence now of demonstrably effective strategical sound policy initiatives now from the current leadership now risks alienating a significant erosion of public trust, potentially now even leading to the party's marginalization or even the ultimate dissolution within the next 12 months. Therefore, it is my considered opinion that a change of leadership is essential. Oh, so we'll see if there are serious calls for more leadership for her to step down. You know, I can guarantee you, behind the scenes, there are calls, emails, letters asking exactly for that. But then it's who do you replace her with? Robert Jenrick is not going to be good either, because Robert Jenrick is just as much as a pound shop copy of Nigel Farage as Nigel Farage is his own copy of himself. So it's not going to get any better. Robert Jenrick's just going to be worse in just various different ways. And if anything, he's got even more baggage to be attacked on than Kemi Badenoch. So, like I say, the next leadership contest, if there is one, it's going to be wild. Absolutely wild, I think. So anyway, he finishes off saying the Conservative Party is now enduring strength, has been historically rooted in its adherence to good core policy principles and the articulation of these policies that resonate now with a broad spectrum of the electorate. Again, broad spectrum of the electorate. This guy, Jason Smithers, would be called an absolute wet by the right of the Tory party, which, bear in mind, is the party and the faction that brought them down. Like, until they actually realize that it is the right wing of their party that has done so much damage to them, that following their policy, following their ideology, until they realize that, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And there is no leader, I think, brave enough, or any current, potential Tory leader to do that, because it would mean you're out of the party, you're out of the party, you're out of the party, you're out of the party. That's what it would mean. I've talked about it before. It would be a complete root and branch reform of the party that would be needed to save it. And there is no one, honestly, capable of doing that. No one. It is dead. It is a dying party. And really, it's not a matter of if, but when, honestly, at this point. Will it be 12 months? Will it be, as I think, maybe, give it a couple more years? But as I've said, I don't intend to follow them forever. I will probably, of course, maybe do a bit about them, but until, they're no longer the main party of opposition, I'll, keep on, reporting about the ongoings of their terminal decline. But we'll see. But it would be so funny to go back in time and tell Conservatives in after the 2019 victory, oh yeah, you've won this big victory. Yeah, this is what you currently look like in May of 2025. Like I say, Conservatives at that point in time would not believe you. But there you go. So let me know what you think. What is your bet on the death of the Conservative Party? Do you agree that it could be within the next 12 months, or do you think it could be a little bit longer? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And of course, as always, hit the like and share button as well on your way out. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button as well. So until next time, we'll see you all very soon.